everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I am so glad to have you all here. We're going to get ready to create some amazing stuff today. No messy today because last week we did all of the mess with our master sheets, so we'll be reusing those, actually using them this week to create with. And you know what, I just realized my microphone is way out there. Let's bring that a little closer. There we go. So glad to see all sorts of people talking in the chat area. Welcome to you if you are new here. I'm so glad to have you here. Don't forget to pop into the chat, say hello, tell us where you're from. As you can see, we're from all around the world and we love to craft together. And we're going to be doing some great stuff today. So let's just get to it, shall we? I love the new rotator because it kind of helps you guys get started as we're going here. And we've got all sorts of great stuff going on. So let me just switch my chat to make sure it's all going in order. Excellent. Okay, guys. Hey, announcements kind of the same from last week. So we're continuing on our journey here with acrylic paint this month. We've got this week and this next week. And then we're going to be moving into the Stamp Focus Challenge. I know you guys are also excited about it, and I am too. We're going to have such a great time with Feed Your Soul from Picket Fence, or whatever stamp you have chosen. So let me know in the chat if you have joined the challenge, and if you're going to be using the Picket Fence stamp, or if you're going to use something else. If you're using something else, let us know what it is. If you haven't joined us yet, please pop some questions in there. So there's lots of people that are going on to the challenge next month, and they'd be happy to answer your questions. Of course, I will answer your questions along the way if you want to know a little bit more about it. In October, we're going to be doing a breast cancer fundraiser the whole month. I'm going to be donating some of my earnings from my scrapbook.com affiliate sales to breast cancer research for the entire month of October. So start saving up your shopping list for scrapbook.com and use my affiliate links in October so that we can donate lots of money for breast cancer research. All right, so glad to see some new folks out there. Hello to Laurel. She's a first timer. Welcome. Awesome, guys. Okay, so if you are a first timer here, you're new, you've just found me, you want to grab my technique freebie and you want to get on my mailing list because that's where you find out about all the good stuff. So go to NicoleCreates.com/technique freebie and grab your freebie. It's got some technique sheets in it. It's got some links to videos here for the techniques and projects that you can use with them. All sorts of great stuff. So definitely grab the freebie, get on my mailing list. All right. Of course, if you guys are using my techniques that I'm sharing here, the projects that I'm sharing, if you're inspired by me in any way, I'd love to see what you're creating. So do tag me on Instagram at Nicole.Creates. I always love to see how you're inspired by what I do here. And I love to say hello and share a few comments and spread the word that you are excited about being a creator, not a craft collector. Awesome, right? All right, so I see we've got some comments coming in. Let's see. Connie wants to know, what's the upcoming challenge? It is another stamp focus challenge. And let me pop that over here. So there it is. And we're going to be using a stamp set by Picket Fence. And I did leave it in my pile here today so that I wouldn't forget it. Here it is. There it is. This is the stamp set I will be using from Picket Fence. It's a lovely stamp set. And we're going to be using that stamp set all month. But if you have something similar, if you have something even different that you would like to use, any stamp set will work. Join the challenge. Become a creator. Stop being a craft collector. Use your supplies. That's what the Stamp Focus Challenge is all about. It will take you from collector to creator in less than a month. You will be creating like crazy and having fun doing it with the whole group. So join us, join.bloomcrafters.com/challenge. Read more about it. Join us. There you go. And let's see. Vicky signed up for the challenge. She's using the Picket Fence set. Elizabeth signed up for the challenge. She's using the Poppy background stamp from Simon Says. Cece, I know. She posted it. She just got her stamp today. She posted it recently, and she posted it along with the challenge badge. Thank you for posting, Cece. I appreciate it. All right, we've got Judy, who's a newbie, so ask about the challenge if you want to know what it's all about. It starts on August 30th. All right, so let's see. Anything else here? everything is normal. Of course, I've got all my affiliate links down below. Easy ways for you to say thank you is to subscribe to my channel. Thank you to all of these people who have subscribed to my channel in the last week. I really appreciate your support. And I'm glad that you decided to click on that subscribe button, and hopefully you hit the bell so that way you're getting reminders when I've got new content here on my channel. All right, let's see. So we talked about that. We're just going to roll right into today, shall we? All right. Oh, you know what? I was doing some other things and I just forgot to get everything set up like I normally do. All right. Today, we're talking about hot foil. Hot foil has made a comeback already. We did hot foil a couple months ago, but we're going to be doing hot foil today in conjunction with our master sheets. So these are pieces of the sheets that we made last week. I've got them cut up so I can store them a little bit better. But these sheets turned out great. Got this one, and then this one I've got cut up even more because I've used it. But these were all large 8.5 by 11 sheets, and now we can cut them up and use them for a myriad of different things, which we are going to do today. Let me just get a few things out of the way, shall we? Okay, let's see. What else did I want to share with you guys? Yeah, hey, if you love today's video, do hit the like button. That always helps. And hit that share button while you're at it and share out while we are live so that folks can join us. All right, I'm going to just pop these things in here so that they don't run away while I get a little bit organized here. All right, I've got my third camera going on over here for hot foil. All right, so we're going to be using hot foil and hot foil leftovers. So that was today's technique. We talked about using hot foil leftovers. So there's lots of ways you can use them. You can even get 3 out of 1 sheet if you do it right. So I hope that all of my technique library members enjoyed today's technique, actually Tuesday's technique. Talking about using hot foil leftovers, because we're going to be using both of those today. And of course that goes right into my technique binder, all my yummy techniques. All right, but see, check this out. So you might start with, you know, just something that's nice and foiled, but then you can use the leftovers to create a reverse, right? So we want to be able to do that. We want to use up all of that foil, because when you, when all your foiling is something like this, you want to be able to use what's left over, right? So, because that's a lot of foil to waste. So I've got all sorts of foil leftover samples here. And if you don't like the way they look, you can always just die cut them. And they look great that way too, as smaller elements on parts of your projects, right? So lots of foil things. These go into my scrap bin so that I can use them later. All right. So let's see. Connie wanted to know, are these sheets acrylic? Yes, they are. So last week, you want to go back and watch our video, Connie. We did what I call master sheets. And so basically, like, this was one sheet that we made. So, oops, there we go. So this was one sheet that we made. I'm going to use this piece today that I still had left over from the last time that I was working with this. So this is one. And then the other sheet that we made was just with a brayer and acrylic paint. And this one I kind of have cut up into some different pieces, just because I wasn't paying attention when I was trimming things up for today. But you can see that it was just a brayer that I brayered on 2 different colors. And this is the great thing about using acrylic, is that you end up with being able to do high contrast colors, because they don't really blend together like watercolors would, right? So you can kind of paint over the top, you can paint next to each other, you can brayer like this to get just a little bit of mixing, but not a whole lot, so that it looks muddy. So all these sheets have acrylic paint on them, and it's just, this one is just on white cardstock. This one that I did was on watercolor paper. So you can use any medium to paint on. So we're going to use these 2 today. Oh, and you know what? This one needs to be cut down as well. We'll get there. All right, but here's what we're making. Check it out, guys. These are so awesome. So we're going to, as if the acrylic sheets weren't cool enough, we're going to amp them up with some hot foil. Then you see what happens. So you're not going to get a perfect hot foil with this. I mean, you might, but if you don't, it's even cooler. So what happens is it like hits the high points on the acrylics and it melts onto there because the acrylic is going to get warm, right? So when it goes through your hot foil machine, it grabs that and it'll grab your brush strokes in the high points and it makes all these cool stuff. All right, so there's that one, and then there's this one too. And this one's got all sorts of rhinestones on it. I mean, this is a birthday card for sure. And check it out. Technically, this shirt is actually a little bit more green, but on the screen, it looks like it's the same color, so I'll take it. I coordinate. All right, guys, so those are the projects we're going to work on today. And the great news is that this doesn't take hardly any time at all because we've already got this part of it done, right? So all we really need to do is hot foil and add some, and add some stuff to it. So let's get to it. Let's do it. All right. So we're going to start with the birthday one. All right. And as we're getting started here in the comments area, I want you to let me know which sentiment you want me to use. So in the card, I did happy birthday, right? But this is what I pulled out of my scrap stash. So I've got happy birthday. This is kind of the opposite. So this is a foil leftover, right? Or we could do best wishes. So in the chat, let me know if you want to see happy birthday or do you want to see best wishes. Either one works for me. So those are our options there. All right, now we're using, we've got all sorts of dyes and hot foil and all sorts of things here today. So let's talk a little bit about these. So the happy birthday and the best wishes, they came from this set. This is called Jana's Sentiments from Jana Smakala. And I love this. They're just such wonderful script. And they come with the dyes as well. So you can hot foil them and then die cut them, right? So that is the first one that you just saw. And I'm going to pair that with a brand new foil plate from Spellbinders. And this one is called Starburst. I don't have the cover art for it. They don't send that to us, to designers. So I've got to go and download it. But here it is. Look at that. Oh, it's so fun. Guys, this is so much fun. All right, so this is going to go on here like so, right? But we need to get some foil on that first. So let's grab this, guys. And I'm going to use the, what color is this? I don't think it really tells, it doesn't tell you on this list, and I always forget to write it down. I think it's called Platinum. But it's kind of like a nice dark gray kind of silver. Super nice. All right, and as I've discussed in the past, you do not need this little tool. I bought it because I was curious about whether I would like it or use it. I do use it because it helps me to cut straight and keep my foil from keep my foil nice and straight. But you really don't need it. You can use just a regular X-Acto knife or whatever. I don't recommend using scissors. I always have a hard time with scissors because they it likes to kind of chew up the edge of my foil. So using a blade is really preferred. All right, so I've got this whole space and I'm just gonna run it right through the little slit here. See how nice that works. I think it works kind of nice. And boy, I've got some spam going on here, so stand by, folks. There. Killed that. It's lovely to get spam in your chat. I'm sure you guys saw that, but it's gone now. All right. So see, now I have a nice, perfectly cut piece. Yeah, so Lex said she just bought the same Jana Sentiments and she loves the script. Yeah, I totally agree. All right, so I'm going to get this onto my hot plate in a minute here. We need to set this up. So I'm going to go ahead and just put my cardstock like so. You can trim this up as well, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to go ahead with this whole sheet. Actually, what I'm going to do is cheat it over to one end there, so you can see that I've got some excess going on here. It's really no big deal. All right, and so this whole thing is going to become kind of a sandwich together. So you see how I've got that set up? I've got the plate, and then I've got the foil face up, so that way it melts onto my paper, and then my paper. And this paper, of course, is our acrylic piece that is done up like so. So I grab just a little piece of like mint tape here or whatever, leave it kind of centered on here. Just pick up the whole sandwich. Erg. All right, so now I've got this in kind of like a whole little sandwich action here. And we're going to go over to our hot foil. So let me show you what we got going on here. All right, hot foil land. And it's kind of dark over here, but it is what it is. Oh, I know what I can do. All right, so I'm going to pop this on here. Now I've noticed I use the Gemini foil press, and this foil is from Spellbinders. So I like to put the metal plate that comes with it from Gemini, and then my piece from, or the fiberglass piece, right? And then I set this up. So when I'm using Gemini and Spellbinders foil, I do it on the highest heat, and I'm actually going to do this for a minute and a half. There we go. And start that. All right, so that's going to start working while I try to work on this camera here. I totally forgot to set this up. That's better-ish. There. All right. Okay, so this is going to continue heating up. We've got about a minute left on that. All right, and while that's doing it, I'm going to go ahead and cut this piece real quick. There we go. All right, got that other piece cut. All right, so you guys, let's see, what did you say? We've got best wishes, happy birthday, best wishes, happy birthday. So that's 3 to 2, 3 to 3, 4, happy birthday. Looks like you guys want happy birthday. So we're going to do happy birthday. All right. 7 seconds. Counting down. All right. Here's the magic ding. Okay, so this is ready to go through. At its highest heat, it's pretty hot. So I just kind of grab it from the corners. And I do have my little tweezers. So this goes right back on to start heating up again. All right, and it's like ready to go. And start pulling all the layers off. All right. Okay, so let's do this. There we go. Okay, so now you can see I got the Gemini down in the corner, but I've got this guy here. All right, so let's pull this up and see what we've got. All right, so we got really good contact, so that's a good sign, right? Okay, I like to let it cool down for just a second. I find that I get better release when the piece has cooled. So like, don't go ripping it off right away. Let it cool so that way the foil can really stick and harden in place. And then, guys, check that out. Yes. That is gorgeous. Beautiful. Look at that foil fantasticness. Okay, so there is just the tiniest bit. Actually, there's really hardly any extra transfer. You can see like just a little bit right in here, but otherwise this totally came out perfect. I love it. It's absolutely gorgeous. Now this piece we will refoil with. So even if it doesn't turn out perfect, like you see how this one like isn't completely perfect, that's okay. I will still use it. It will be more of a distressed look, and that's fine. But we can get this to come out perfect if we want. So let's just do this reverse black and on white. All right, and the key to that is this bad boy right here, this hot solid foil plate. So it is nothing more than a solid metal plate. Now it is designed to be the right thickness in order to do this. So they've taken into account that it doesn't have anything cut on it or whatever. So it's as if this was as thick, you know, if I measured these up, it's as thick as it is where all the little raised starbursts are, right? So this is a pretty hefty plate. And I've seen videos out there where people are trying to use other things. I find these plates to work the best, right? So I can just put all of this on there and again, let that sit. Now I'm going to let this sit for about 2 minutes because this plate needs to heat up and the foil's already been through once. So it's starting to lose its effectiveness. I notice that the more I use a single piece of foil, the more I have to run it through, or the longer I have to let it sit. All right, so you can see down below here, I've got that plate on there. I've got my piece with white with the foil on it. I'm going to put my same sandwich. I really have been using this metal shim lately. It really, I think, helps a lot with the pressure for my particular Gemini. And I'm going to clear this and I'm going to go 2 minutes on this, guys. So we're going to let this go for 2 minutes while we start looking at this. So because we did these master sheets, right, it is not difficult to finish this project. All right. We're just going to hold our card base. All right, so we've got a card base. This is going to go right on it. I love this shade of blue is just so yummy. Yummy, yummy. All right, so those are going to go right on. And I'm just going to make sure that I've got that centered on there. Well, it's pulling up just a little bit, so I'm going to take, good thing I've got my acrylic blocks right here always. I'm just going to let that sit for a minute. Sometimes I even put a third one on the top. I can find them. There we go. I have lots of these. I don't know why. I kept getting them for other things. And I was like, oh, I've got like 4 of them now. So, but these big blocks really help for smushing things down and letting them help them dry flat. Works really well. Got 22 seconds left on this one. And then we're going to do this one. Okay. So let's talk about this while we're waiting. So this is another one that's been around for a little bit. This is the birthday candle background. This is another Yana Smakalo one. Yana, I love your stuff. Gotta let you know. Okay, so this one is very cool. It comes with the candles all in one piece, so you can make a whole bunch of candles like so, right? And then I was able to do the opposite with the leftovers. And then it has individual candle die cuts, so that way you can cut out as many or as few of the candles as you like, right? So it's nice. I do up a whole sheet of candles and then I can cut them out as I go, picking out the ones I want to use as I want to use them. So I don't have to worry about like losing little candles, right? So that works out kind of nice. All right, I've already got my candles cut out though. So, okay, this is done. Let's just pop it through. So as you can see, like you can be doing other things while you're waiting for your hot foil to heat up. That happens sometimes. It likes to stick to this guy instead of staying on here. So let's move this off. That gets hot, let me tell you. I'm using the tweezer for that all the time. All right, so you want this to have a nice solid finish, looking like it has attached itself all the way around. All right, and as I pull up, you're hoping to see 99%, if not 100% of the foil transferring. Now, as you can see, it did not all transfer here. So I have a few choices. I can just pull this off completely. Ooh, see, look at that. Or I can just kind of put it back on and try it again. All right, which I am going to do. So let's put our hot plate back on. We're going to put this back on there. So again, just kind of push it back down, right? Put it back on there. See what I mean about it kind of not always. So you might need to bump it up. It's already been on there for 2 minutes, so let's try 2 minutes again. And what I might do, because see, here's one that I tried to transfer before, and see how it turned out like that. So what I'm going to do is actually use this piece as a shim and just add that in there as just an extra little cushion. Sometimes it just needs that little extra bit of pressure to get it all off. I've kind of had 50-50 results with the reverse side. So that is definitely one way to get it to work a little better. All right, so this has sat and dried and flattened. It looks amazing. This is the really important one though, right? We want this to look like perfection, and it does. I love it. All right, so we're going to do the opposite on this. We're going to do the happy birthday in the opposite. And then I've got some candles in my little pre-cuts here. So these are the same candles from that sheet that I just showed you. And pop those out. Let's get a little close view. All right. All right, so for this, I'm going to do, see, I don't think I want to use just the plain candle, but I can do, just like I did on the first one, I can do like 2. Just kind of placed a little haphazardly, and then a third one, and then the happy birthday. Right, so let me get some foam tape. The foam strips from scrapbook.com work really great for these because they're nice and thin. They're super awesome. All right. That's ready to come off. All right, and then just a little on the Y there, and another piece to go across here. Super easy. All right, so let's run this through. Remember, I'm going to put a little shim on the top here. I have a theory. So when I'm running this through, do you see how it's kind of warped? Because the heat likes to warp this panel. It's not always necessarily contacting the heat. So I'm wondering if that is maybe why I don't always get a good impression. Now, sometimes I've been known to take this silicone mat here and put it on top and just kind of hold everything down. and kind of push down on the handle here, so that way everything is nice and flat and it gets a nice press. And I think that makes a difference. So if you have this style with like the Gemini with this plate on it that likes to warp, you may want to push down a little bit like this when you're using especially the solid hot foil plates, because it does do that little bit of warping. All right, so let's run that through again. Let that heat up just a little bit more. Yeah. Okay, so let this cool for a second. All right, so let's see if we get a better result this time. If not, and that's fine. Oh, we did. Check that out. Haha. We got it all. Nice. So this is what you want to see. You want to see a whole lot of nothing, like hardly any of that foil left over, because it all landed on this piece of cardstock. So run it through a couple times, add some shims. Just don't pull it off completely, because you may be able to rerun it and get a perfect impression when you're done, right? So there you go. Now I don't feel so bad about throwing away this foil. Normally I would maybe have cut it down so it was in a perfect size, and then I really wouldn't have wasted anything. But this is a great piece to use for a project. I probably will cut this up and use it maybe with some die cuts or something like that. But this is a great piece. It's so bright. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Back to our regularly scheduled programming here. Okay, so let's go back to, there we go. All right, here we are. We're really just finishing this card up, right? So let's put this down first, since they don't really touch. This will give us a guideline of where we want to put those candles. So if I do this, then it looks like he's kind of like got that little starburst popping out from behind, which is great. All right, and then I can take my 2 candles and just kind of, I'm not putting them down straight. I want them to be a little whimsical, so they're gonna go at some funky angles. Don't make them even either. So, you know, sitting up from each other like so. And then this third one that's got the foam on it can go kind of cross paths like so. There. Gorgeous. Ta-da! All right. I also got smart, and I pre-pulled all of the gems, because this is coming from a gem mix from Picket Fence. This is their day and night gem mix, but I wanted all the same size, and I knew that the other container I had, I was running out of them. So I pre-picked them out. I wouldn't have to worry about sitting here and picking out a whole bunch of sequins on camera. All right, so I'm just going to use my Spellbinders glazing glue. I really like this for putting down gemstones and such. All right, so I just put down a little dot in the center of each of the starbursts. And this way I can just pop them in. And I have really good skills with these tweezers. I've tried all sorts of other different gem pickers. I keep coming back to the flat tweezers. So it's my jam. Here we go. All right, first half. Paula Mellis, can't beat a wonky candle. Yes. Isn't that funny? Okay. All right. So there we go. We'll get the rest of these on here. This one's debatable whether I would put one here or not with that candle that close, but it's there now, so we'll call it good. And there we go. Whoa. See, all the gemstones wanted to be on this card. There's a lot of gemstones. This is an easy way to get rid of lots of rhinestones. Yes. That is a birthday card that someone is going to keep on their desk for a very long time. I love it. So here we are. This is our reverse image, our reverse foiling of this one. They both look awesome. So cute. All right. And see the candles on this one? These are the reverse candles of those. So there you go. Two different looks. There we go. Pride says, I've never had a problem getting rid of gemstones. Well, yeah, let me tell you, do something like this and then you really won't have a problem. These are great. Okay. Number one, done. Yes. So see, when we use master sheets, shortens our timeline, right? So we've already gotten those pieces done. We don't have to worry about making the mess. We don't have to worry about dry time, none of that stuff. So now we're going to move on to our second one, which is holiday one. This has got some new stuff from Spellbinders as well. We've got our mix and match holiday greetings. This is more ornaments, something or another. Let's take a look at what we've got. We've got this one, more holiday decorations. So cute, right? There are holiday balls as well as the lights, and then the little string, some other little accoutrement for your holiday lights. Of course, the mix and match holiday greetings. We've used those before, so we're going to be using holiday greetings on this one. And then another new plate. This is Dazzling Diamonds, guys. Check that one out. So, second verse, same as the first. We're going to go ahead and start by doing some hot foil on this panel with our Dazzling Diamonds hot foil sheet. So those are going to go together. We're going to use gold this time. Actually, we could use copper. So I used gold. Want to use copper? Let's use copper. Let's use copper. I love copper, guys. I love copper over gold. It's a nice warm tone, right? So here's another thing that you could do. If you've got a solid foil plate like this, you can always just, you know, do something as simple as that to line it up. I still like using the little, put it down. So it just kind of keeps everything in place. The foil likes to be unruly, you know, like, see, it likes to do things like that. So this little piece here on top of the self-healing mat helps to keep everything nice and flat when you're cutting it. Because, like, nothing worse than being, like, crazy about using the hot foil. And you're like, oh, because it's, like, all over the place and you're just trying to get it to behave and it doesn't want to behave, right? So again, we're going to put the hot foil so that it is right on our panel. Piece of mint tape. Oh, out of the mint tape. I've got some yellow tape over here. That will work as well. All right, we're going to kind of center this guy right on our hot plate. So if you have a problem with like centering your finished panel size against the foil plate, you can always cut your panel slightly larger so that way it matches up to the foil plate exactly, and then trim it down however you want to do that. But this will work for me. All right, so I've got my little sandwich set up here. I'm going to pop this on my hot foil. There we go. So right it is on there. I'm going to pop our plate on top, our fiberglass plate. We're going to set this at 1.5 minutes. There we go. And start it up. All right, so again, I might just take this little mat and kind of push down so that it's nice and flat. You don't technically really have to do that, but if you're noticing that you're having a problems getting some of the foil to transfer and it's in the center, this could be why. All right, now I know Gemini is not carrying the foil press at the moment. I believe they are coming out with a new one, and maybe they will have fixed some of the little issues that, as you can see, this one has with it kind of wanting to bend and warp like that. All right, so while we're waiting for that, I'm going to go ahead and zoom back in, and I've got all my little bits and pieces ready to go here. So I cut these all out in white. So I've got my little string here, and I've got my holiday greetings. I've got everything to go. I need to assemble my cute little lights. Now I did these all in white because I didn't want to take away from that background piece. All right. So there's that and that and that. So I've got all these little lights I need to assemble. They're super easy. All right. So just a little bit on one of these with the hole in it. And then I just sandwich it with one that doesn't have a hole. All right, and that's going to turn into a cute little light that has like a little, let me get that to focus. There we go. You see how it's got that nice little shiny spot there? That's from the cutout. Super cute. All right. Let's see. Cheryl wants to do, hope I do a replay. Cheryl, yes, you will be able to watch this as a replay basically right after we're done here. So after that storm passes through and you want to watch it again, just come right back to my channel and you will see it listed, available for replay. All right. Connie wants to know any word on the new one. I have no idea. I wish I had that kind of insight into the craft industry. I wish they told me all their secrets and I knew when new cool stuff was coming out, but I am just not that plugged in. I don't think there's a lot of us that are. Things like that, like bigger tools like this, typically are pretty hush-hush until they're ready to release them. So, but like I said, I hope that it has some really good improvements on it. I mean, I really can't complain now. I really like it, but it definitely has some things that they could do just a little better, I think. So there are my 6 little lights. And I know my hot foil is ready to go. It's been ready to go. It's okay if it sits on there just a little bit longer. It's not going to hurt it. All right, Penny, the technique sheet for this is available for Technique Library members and Bloom members. So they will be able to find that on the Technique Library part of their membership. And of course, part of the challenge coming up in September does include technique sheets, because that's kind of how we roll here. We do a technique on Tuesday, and that always kind of ties into what we're learning on Thursday's project. All right, so here we go. me back up just a hair so I don't touch your eyes. All right, you ready for this? Let's go. Look at that. So it's stuck on there real nice. You see how it's got kind of some ripples? That means that maybe it has picked up a little bit of that acrylic paint on the back, right? Because it wasn't completely flat, right? So let's reveal, shall we? Yes. Haha. Gorgeous. Okay, so I'm going to show you the back here. So you see it's got some that pulled off. That's because of the acrylic paint. So on here, you can see that it grabbed a little bit on this high point here and a little bit on the high point here and a little bit on the high point over here. That's okay. That's what makes this really cool, because it pulls up some of the high points on the acrylic and gives it just a little bit more of a distressed look. Really helps some of those high points on the acrylic shine as well. But it's super, super gorgeous. There you go. All right, Connie wants to know what time is my live on Tuesday. On Tuesdays, I post new technique videos here. They're not lives, they're just technique videos. They are about 3 or 4 months behind the Technique Library membership, and it's just the video. So if you want the technique sheets that I'm always showing, those are a part of the Technique Library membership. And if you go to bloomcrafters.com and check out the Technique Library membership, you will see what that is all about, and you can join that at any time. That is just a small piece of the Bloom Creative community, which opens only twice a year, but it is really, it's a member favorite for sure. So, and I got lots of members on today. I'm sure they would love to tell you how much they love the Technique Library. So there are over 75 techniques so far, maybe closer to 80. It's crazy how many techniques. I put out a new technique every week. A technique sheet, shopping list, technique video without ads, of course. All in one place, easily searchable. You get an email every week that lets you know what's new. The Technique Library membership is awesome. All right, so this again is just going to go on our card base. So, but like I said, if you want to find out what all of this stuff really is about, join the challenge. The challenge is going to run from August 30th through the entire month of September. And we're going to do 4 projects live here. We've got our Q&A right after this, just like we do with the Bloom Creative Community membership. So it's kind of like being in the creative community, because you're getting techniques on Tuesday, exclusive. You're getting the project and the project sheets and the Q&A on Thursdays, and that kind of stuff. So it's pretty awesome. And if you are the kind of person that has lots of craft supplies, but you don't know where to start, and you just keep buying more, and you're spending way too much time online searching for how to do stuff or inspiration or whatever, the Technique Library, the Bloom Creative Community, the challenge, they are all designed to get you creating. So you stop with all of the extra inspiration searching and the getting, spending your time doing that and then not wanting to craft and that kind of stuff. You go right to the making, because you've got everything else is just kind of set up for you. We do other things in the Bloom Creative Community too. Lately, we've been working on how to edit photos. We've been talking about how to add watermarks on our photos. I've been teaching a little bit of software for that. We do all sorts of amazing stuff in the Bloom Creative Community, and that's going to open in October. You'll definitely hear more about that if you join the challenge. Of course, I'll be talking about it here, but the challenge is really where you're going to find out all the details and really get a feel for if it's something that you're interested in belonging to, whether it's the Technique Library or it's the Bloom Creative Community. All right, check it out. Oh my gosh, guys, this could just be all on its own. It doesn't even need a sentiment or anything, does it? I mean, it's beautiful. It's just gorgeous. All right, I love all the texture and the shine and the color. It's so cool. All right, so let's get this finished up here. All right, so I've got the word holiday greetings. Now this is a little tricky because this particular die set from Spellbinders, the first letter is separate from the rest of the letters. Holiday and greetings. And one thing that I have been messing around with is taking the dies and doing like a little kind of transfer. So if I get the H into the die, right, so you see how I have that sitting in the die there. Gee, get out of the way. There we go. I'm going to put this piece of tape right over it just to keep it in place. And then I'm going to take the holiday. It's like some people when they say herbs, right? You don't really say the H, so it's holiday. It's a jolly holiday with you, Bert. All right, a little Mary Poppins for you. All right, so now I've got that like perfectly aligned. All right, so see that can go right there. So what I'm going to do, okay, so this is kind of what I was thinking would work. Let me grab some other tape. Because really right now it's on the wrong side, right? So I'm going to do a tape transfer where I tape the front and now I can pull it off the back. Conceptually, there we go. All right, so now I have it on there. It works. I mean, it's maybe a little less of a pain in the butt. It would work really well if I had double-sided adhesive on here, but I don't. I find that double-sided adhesive on some of these little guys can really be kind of a pain. I like it. I mean, I use double-sided adhesive sheets all the time. But sometimes it's just easier to go without because the die cutting ends up being a little bit fussy. Right? So I can see where that's going to go. So I can see it through the tape mostly. That actually worked pretty well. And now I can adjust a little bit. Now see, I got that on there pretty good. So the liquid glue allows me to adjust just a little bit. Yeah, Amy, you know what? I usually am an eyeballer too, but I know that people want to know like different techniques and how they can maybe get it to work right. So I thought, well, I'll try this and see if I like it. And it actually works out pretty well. Because I would probably still be messing with this right now. All right, so again, just kind of taping it down in the die. All right, see how quickly that happens? So maybe if you do it a little bit, you know, every once in a while, a little bit more frequently, then you'll end up actually being pretty good at it. I don't know. I just tried to do this today, so maybe it doesn't take long to learn. All right, so then I've got this side I can pull up. There. I kind of like that. But yeah, usually I'm an eyeballer. Working with the liquid glue is nice though too, because you can shift it around a little bit if you need to. There we go. Yes, you could run it through a Xyron sticker thingy. I like the idea of a Xyron sticker thingy. What I end up not liking about it is like wasting all the extra. But that actually worked out pretty good, guys. I mean, I could see the letters through the tape. And then I can just shift a little bit because it needs to shift just a hair. Ta-da! Could stay just like this, right? Absolutely. But then I've got this cute little guy here. And I'm just going to run him off the edge like so. So you can save the other half to use for another little project if you want. You can just toss it. There we go. All right, so guys, we are wrapping up today rapidly. And I hope that you take a moment to check out the Stamp Focus Challenge. Now, like I said, I'm going to be using a stamp set from Picket Fence all month, but you can use any stamp set from your stash. So I encourage you always to shop your stash. And then you're using stuff that you already own, and you're going to create all sorts of really cool projects. We're going to focus on all sorts of different techniques using just that same stamp set all month. Right? Okay, so when I'm putting these guys on here, I don't want them to look matchy-matchy in the angles. Because, you know, you put up Christmas lights and they're never exactly perfect. I mean, unless you're really sticking them down in place so that they're all precise, 100% perfect, right? They're always kind of at a little bit of a different angle here and there. So these guys can definitely go. I think they look better when you put them at different angles. And I know I haven't put the little ends on them yet. I'll put those on last. There we go. Why don't you use the Tombow glue for sequins and gemstones? Okay, so the Tombow glue is a, this particular Tombow glue does not dry hard. It is always got a little bit of a give to it because it has, it's kind of like a latex acrylic base. So it always has that little bit of kind of shimmy to it. Like you can always move things around a little bit with it. Whereas something like the Glaze and Glue, this is a resin adhesive, or I've been known to use the Judikins Diamond Glaze. They dry hard and clear. Now the clear is glossy clear, but it works the way that I want it to. So it dries hard, and then these guys won't move around. You know what I mean? So like if I used this on these guys here, I'd be able to move them around with my thumb, my finger. I'd even be able to pick them up and pull them off. But with the glaze, it dries hard and clear, and I can't move it around. And then it's not sticky either. These don't dry sticky, they dry hard and clear. This dries a little bit tacky, so if it smooshes out from underneath, then you always have some sticky stuff on the edge. And that's no good either. So that's why I don't use the Tombow on the rhinestones. All right, so these just have these cute little ends that now I can pop on. Now you could go crazy with these, right? You can make them all different colors. You can make these in a metal, cardstock, whatever. But because I didn't want to take away from the background, I chose to just do these all in white. And they look amazing that way. Pop this guy on. All right. There you go. Yeah. I love the Tombow too, CC, but there's a time and a place for different glues, definitely. There we go. All right, so I'm just going to let this dry for a second or two longer, and then I'm just going to snip that guy right off the end. And that's it. There we go. So 1 hour, a little under an hour, because we always have a little chat at the beginning, right? And we've got 2 cards done because we used our master sheets. But then we did the foiling and they look so, so awesome. All right, guys, so there you go. Fun times this week with more acrylics. Next week, we're going to be doing acrylics. We're going to be using this master sheet, another one of these, to do some work with die cuts. And we're going to do a 2-for-1. It looks amazing. I think you're going to have a lot of fun with it. We're also going to be pulling out the acrylic ink again and doing something kind of fun with that. So I hope you guys enjoyed today. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up on your way out if you enjoyed it. If you need to do any crafty shopping this weekend, do use my affiliate links. Those are always at no additional cost to you. Even if you don't need the item, but you're going to go shopping at that store, click on the link and it'll take you right over there. Set the cookie and help me out a little bit to create more free content for you here again next week. So I appreciate it, guys. I hope to see some more of you sign up for the challenge. I'll be here talking about it again next week. If you do have any questions, of course, you can always email me. I'm happy to answer them or leave a comment down below, and I'm happy to get in touch with you. So thank you so much, everyone. Have a wonderful weekend and happy crafting.